nobody gets pregnant more or have kids more than people that are struggling. If you are struggling, what will make you think, yeah, like, let's have a baby? Like, what? Men and women, what will make you do that? Like, I can barely feed the kids I got. I can barely feed myself. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. But let me just have a baby real quick.
Right.
I can honestly tell you, I know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's many and a whole lot of answers.
And it all stems from a psychological standpoint, right? One of the main reasons is a lot of times people who do these type of things where they have a bunch of kids, they can't take care of them, they start having them at a young age, and they keep procreating and their situation is a mess, it's because they come from the same type of environment. The mom has done the same thing, the grandmother has done the same thing, so we're dealing with a domino effect.
Correct.
Right? Another reason is also, not only is there a lot of poverty in these situations, right, as we're discussing, but with poverty comes what? It comes with a lot of households that are very out of order, disorder. A lot of disorderly concept.
Correct. Disconnected.
A lot of disorderly conduct going on in these households, right? Mom has a bunch of kids, uncles are around, this person, and what happens? A lot of these kids, they go through sexual assault from a very young age. Mom is all over the place. She doesn't care who watch or mind her kids. So what happens? By them being introduced to sexual assault, right? Or rape at a young age, they become promiscuous. By the time they're 11 years old, they're having intercourse. Unfortunately, 12 years old, they're able to get pregnant, and they start having kids by the age of sometimes 12, 13, and so 15, on and so forth. Right? So a lot of these situations that we see is situations that's repeated, basically, is what I'm saying. From the grandmother come all the way down to the current lineage. So that's what makes a lot of people want to have kids and they have nothing going on, because a lot of these people are really young and all living on the system. The third reason is a lot of these kids, they come from a non-nurtured household. So they want to be nurtured. They're let out into the streets really early. Mom is in her situation with some stupid boyfriend, maybe drugs, crack, cocaine, whatever. Nobody's monitoring what these kids are doing. So they enter out into the world
to learn on their own.
Right. So it stems from a lot of different situations.
Well, a lot of what I'm thinking is the fact that, kids bring nurturing. They create bonding. They create somewhat of a completion, right? They seal the deal, so to speak. A lot of times people do that, even though they're going through negative situations, they might just decide to have a kid just to keep the bond tight. Right.
To keep that boyfriend that they're so caught in love with.
To keep the person at bay until they figure things out, so to speak.
It's true.
To be aroused during a negative moment or a negative, situation that y'all going through, timing or whatever, it's kind of like, how should I put this? It's kind of like a bittersweet when you think about it. Because yes, you're going through poverty. You're going through the fact that, certain things are not happening at the moment, but you have this person that you care for and you don't want to lose and all this other shit. So it's like, you kind of want to keep that bond by having a child.
So you're looking for comfort?
So you're looking for comfort. A lot of times that's what it is. It's comfort. It's comfort, and it's to keep the connection. It's to keep the connection going.
Exactly.
So that's what I get from all of that.
What will make you do that? Like, what really do be wrong with people? People who struggle, I swear they have the most kids. Like, on TikTok, when you see people struggling, they be having like 4 or 5 kids. What will make you do that? Why raise a child in a struggling environment when you can't give them no type of life, no type of good life? Like, why do y'all do that? I really don't get it. Like, they'll be like, yeah, I'm homeless, I'm pregnant. What? How did this even happen? How did you even get, like, aroused enough to even have a baby homeless? Like, if I'm homeless, I'm focused. Like, it's just no way. Like, we gotta stop that. Stop having kids if you're struggling. Like, what's so hard about that?
I agree with her 100%.
And staying focused is number one key. Both of you guys are supposed to be each other's driving force in order for y'all to get up out of that mud situation. Because if you don't become each other's driving force, guess what? You're just going to sink deeper into that quicksand that's pulling you down. Or poverty.
That's certain scenarios. But a secondary scenario is these people are having sex with just anybody, people that are not even committed to them.
Well, that's the whole
You know what I'm
thing.
saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you see these type of dynamics or demographics. It's just people who have maybe 4, 5, 6 kids and
but
more,
not with the same person.
4, 5, 6 baby daddies or more.
So that's survival then. That's survival because to an extent you're hoping that the person who just impregnated you stay with you.
But that's not survival because you don't need that person to survive.
Obviously, yeah, you don't need them, but you do need them.
In what way?
In what way? To the fact that if they're with you, then they could provide something to you.
But that's not survival because you, in the words of Gloria Gaynor, I will survive.
Of
you know
course.
what I'm saying?
We all will survive if we learn how to use our heads and not our heads.
I get you. You got that. Because here's the thing, right? If survival was key through having kids, right, with a particular person, then why there's so many single households?
Listen, a lot of these situations happen, right? Let's say, for instance, you don't have no money. You go out there and sell that butt for some money. Survival.
Well, that's a different type of survival. We're talking about having kids together in a non-structural environment, right? With people just giving it up to anybody and not caring about their bodies. But that also
plays the same part,
right?
When you think about it.
But it falls into the category of this whole liberal sexual revolution nonsense,
Correct.
Right? Where women are the same as men when it comes to sex. No, we're not.
Right.
We're the carriers of children. We're supposed to be nurturers when they get here.
Correct.
We're not supposed to just have sex with anybody and
hope that somebody else pick up the pieces.
Right, disrespect our bodies, procreate, and then because we now have no attachment to the man who impregnated us, we treat the kid like garbage, right?
It happens.
And it turns it like literally it revolves into right this situation of kids feeling unnurtured, unloved. It evolves into these kids going out there and playing adult games, being taken advantage of. And it's just this repetitive, vicious cycle that keeps happening time and time again.
Majority of
and
times,
it needs to stop.
Majority of times when a woman turns her back on her child like that, that's what they call postpartum. When they have that resentment towards the child and then they just don't want to be bothered anymore. So that's another story too.
Because postpartum for how long? Because we have
for as long as
the women that never wanted the kid, but they wanted the men, right?
Right.
They wanted the stipulations that came with it, but because it didn't pan out in their favor, Rashid is now 14,
correct, yes.
and he's running the street and he's gangbanging because she never nurtured him, never wanted him from the beginning. So I'm sorry, but the postpartum phase has been over.
I think postpartum is more defined to me, and from my outside looking in, as not admitting fault, making excuses, putting band-aids on things. There you go.
Right?
There you go. So you find anything to throw into that pot of postpartum.
But there are some people that literally go through real postpartum right after pregnancy. But you also have some people, like I said, where things didn't work out in their favor and they do devious things.
Right.
And then because they know they have a band-aid that the government or whomever would apply to their bad behavior, the first thing they do is they cry postpartum. It's just like kids who are out there doing crazy devious stuff, and the first thing they do when they're not listening in school is ADD, ADHD, and now the parent gets to collect a check. We're not trying to go off on a tangent, trust me. We're just trying to have a discussion because things like this need to be discussed.
Right.
And a lot of these situations do come from psychological impact.
Ladies, in the comment section, I want y'all to really give me clarity on postpartum.
Because we have a lot of kids ourselves, but I never experienced postpartum.
Is it because that you screwed up by getting pregnant by the wrong man, or is it because whatever it is? Because I'm not going to keep guessing. And I'm sure that when I say this, I speak and I ask this question for many other men out there who feel the same way. Is postpartum a band-aid because you didn't get things to go your way, or is it something that really happens? Right? Because it when you look at it from a man's point of view, and we're always the one who tries to add that band-aid to it instead of sitting down and really talking about why are you going through this. So we're never really clear on it. So I need that clarity from you guys to hit me back in the comment section and let me know, what is this postpartum? Is it a band-aid, or is it something that's actually a woman actually experiences after giving birth?
Right.